Hi, I'm Jason Bogue, the editor of Mediabistro's publishing blog Galleycat, and your host for the next episode of MediaBeat, Mediabistro's video interview show. I'm here today with Andy Hunter, one of the co-founders of Electric Literature, the online literary journal. Andy will be one of our guests at the Digital Book Summit here at Mediabistro on December 15th. We will be joined by authors like Douglas Rushkoff and publishers like Open Road and Macmillan. So Andy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason.
Last time we talked about the future of literary journals, but one of the things that's really set your literary journal out from the pack is your work with the iPad. Do you want to just talk about what Electric Literature has done with the iPad and what sort of opportunity you see for literary journals?
Yeah, we knew that people were beginning to read on these devices, and we wanted to actually push that precedent, because as all consumers start to own smartphones, the more people think of them as a possible e-reader, the more people are going to be reading in these kind of quiet moments between, doctor's appointments or whatever. The fact that you have an e-reader on you at all times will be a benefit to writers, it'll be a benefit to publishers. So we wanted people to think of it as that platform. When the iPad came out, we started a big effort to make that platform more robust, and sometime in early December we're going to introduce a new app which has a lot more functionality, and we're starting to actually help other publishers use our engine to build apps as well. One of the things that I think is so exciting about apps, and why I'm incredibly interested in them, we put so much resources behind them, is that they change the dynamic. Whereas a book or an EPUB, even any kind of electronic book, is a document and it's inert. What the book evolves into, as long as it performs that central function, telling a story or laying out an argument, whatever it is, it can take any kind of form in the future that you want. And I think that electronic media, the rise of electronic media, has been met with basically mostly by fear. People are afraid about a future in which people won't pay for books. And so publishers will go out of business, authors won't get paid. Because of that fear, they fail to see these opportunities that digital distribution and apps, I think in particular, give you. So instead of the old way of like selling somebody a book and then hoping that you can find that person again when the next book comes out, I think one day that'll seem like an insane way of doing it. If you manage to get like a successful literary book and you find 50,000 readers for that, the fact that if that same author puts out a book 2 years later, you have to find those 50,000 readers again and try to build off of that seems like madness, when you could have kept those readers engaged that whole time. And you know who those readers are, so you can just let them know.
It's really exciting. So if I'm a writer or even a literary journal or a publisher, what sort of costs can I expect to have to build something like that?
Developing an iPhone or iPad app from scratch can cost between $10,000 to $40,000. For certainly the New York Times or Wall Street Journal apps cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. But what we're trying to do with electricpublisher.com, which is something that Electric Literature just launched, is give independent presses and authors, and even large presses that want an affordable way to create book apps, a way that they can create apps affordably. So our average, like our simple book app that we created for Stephen Elliott, we charge $600. So you don't have to lose money by being a digital innovator or pioneer. And we don't want there to be a technology gap where the people who have 40 grand to blow on an app can do it. The independent presses are stuck doing, just printing books or maybe getting a book on the Kindle. If the future is apps, then it's important to us that smaller publishers, we want them to have a voice and be able to use this platform and reach readers in that way. So we're offering this kind of democratic, modular solution through Electric Publisher that'll allow them all to kind of compete in that realm.
That's great. I think that's an inspiring way to end this episode. Once again, I'm here with Andy Hunter, one of the co-founders of Electric Literature. He'll be joining us next episode to talk about Twitter and the power of Twitter at their literary journal. You can see Andy give some very practical, hands-on advice and demonstrations of his app at the eBook Summit, which is coming up on December 15th for Mediabistro. It'll be an all-day event with writers like Douglas Rushkoff, Canaletta, and a host of publishers as well. Thanks for coming on, Andy.
Thanks.